If you just had a fantastic idea, but you don't have a degree, will you ever be taken seriously by the scientific community? I'm paraphrasing a long question from channel subscriber Prognify, thank you, who asked, if some kid in his bedroom finds a novel way to do some part of AI that improves a lot on previous methods, this kid can't publish it as a paper, although they might open source their code and explain their findings, etc. Is there a way for this guy to get an accelerated degree so that they can present research they have already done? Welcome to Frank Stay Unexplained. I'm a professor of security and privacy at the University of Cambridge, and I think I'm qualified to speak about research because you only get promoted to full professor on the basis of world-leading excellence in research as judged by your peers. So let's take this question in stages. First of all, Prognify says the kid can't publish a paper with his finding. Well, that's wrong technically. Nothing says kids cannot submit. But will he get accepted? That's not guaranteed. But it's not guaranteed for adults either. All of my papers get accepted. It also depends on the venue you submit to. A local workshop is of course easier to publish into than a prestigious international conference or journal. But although different venues will set the bar higher or lower, the selection is on the quality of the submission, not the age or affiliation or reputation of the authors. But why does this kid want to publish in the first place? Is this going to be a once-in-a-lifetime bucket list item, having something published? Or is this something that the kid will want to continue to do on an ongoing basis? Because it will be quite an investment, and it's worth considering whether this investment can be amortized. The kid has this fantastic idea, great, but this idea won't publish itself. And to bring the idea to the stage where it can be published somewhere reputable takes a lot of preparation and training. Does the kid have the time? Is the kid self-funded as well as being self-taught? Is it sustainable for this kid to invest several years into becoming a mature enough researcher that their output actually gets published? Do they want to become a career researcher? Who would they want their employer to be throughout their career? Why would that employer want to pay them to do research? Now, non-researchers sometimes think that having good ideas is all that matters. Now, a good idea, of course, does matter and is necessary, but overall, it's only a small part of the whole story. What problem does your great idea solve? Why is it an interesting problem? Who benefits if you solve this problem, and why? If it's so interesting and useful, then why didn't anyone solve it before? Why do you think you can solve it? And also, once you describe the problem clearly, is the solution immediately obvious to someone skilled in the art? That's the kind of test that they give for patents. Then, if it was, maybe it wasn't such a groundbreaking original idea after all. But if you do have good answers to all of the above, then it could be a useful contribution, and it might be worth adding it to the worldwide scientific body of knowledge about that topic. But that requires a lot more than just having the idea. You must learn how to tell a good story, validate it with convincing evidence, and so on. And the easiest way to become a serious researcher, someone capable of doing all the things I just described, is to become the apprentice of a competent scientist who will then teach you the trade. And this is called a PhD. A PhD is essentially an apprenticeship with a scholar to understand and acquire the scientific method. To make a meaningful contribution to some field, you must study the field until you know all the significant results in the field, and you can relate them to each other and to new ones. And you must know what has been tried before, what problems nobody has been able to solve yet, and why they haven't been able to solve them. And during the PhD you learn and you practice how to make your own contributions and how to validate your claims in a way that will satisfy your peers, who are the ultimate judges of whether the thing gets accepted. A good mentor will be a sounding board about what works and what won't work. A good mentor will cultivate your good ideas, will suggest promising variations or maybe alternative approaches, and suggest where you present your results, teach you how to build a solid and plausible argument, how to write convincingly about your results, and how to present them in an engaging way. Initially, the mentor will write with you, and there will be lots of back and forth on the manuscript. And as the years go by, the collaboration will evolve and the mentoring will become higher level, more on the intellectual content than on the form, until you're ready to fly with your own wings and write papers by yourself. I, and others like me, I'm willing to invest all these years into training a promising apprentice because a good PhD student will bring original contributions, will do additional work that extends my reach, will challenge my own ideas, will make me discover new things, and will be a stimulating fresh mind to discuss stuff with. So, although I am very selective on who I pick, I'm always on the lookout for talented and committed candidates, and what they get in exchange is the multi-year training that turns them into genuine researchers. So in short, dear self-taught kid, It is theoretically possible for you to publish your results if you are exceptionally good and you've put in a lot of work to learn what others have done in this field, what makes your contribution significant, and so on and so forth. But to be honest, that's pretty difficult to do. Doing it solo is in fact the opposite of a shortcut. Paradoxically, it's the PhD that's the shortcut. Become the apprentice of someone like me, even if it takes several years. However, because it is such a big investment, it's only worth doing if you like research so much that that's what you want to do for the next few decades. The PhD is not a goal or an end point. It's just a starting point. It's what opens up a career of research for you, and I have a whole video about that. And if you just want to publish that one idea and then be out of it, you're really wasting your time getting a PhD or learning how to do this properly. You'll be much better off just co-authoring with an experienced scientist who will help you shape, strengthen, and present your ideas and navigate the publishing process, and you won't have to worry about all this other stuff or becoming a scientist yourself. Now, were these thoughts of mine of any use? What are your own thoughts? Do you think perhaps the PhD is a waste of time and totally unnecessary for research? Well, share your views in the comments, click like if you liked, and say condense a microphone to let me know that you made it to the end, which I always like to see. And I've got quite a few more videos on PhD level research that you might like to watch as well.